Hello, I am your host, Ethan, and I am here to guide you into a deep, restorative sleep. Tonight, we will travel gently into the quiet wisdom of the ancient world, a world of marble temples, warm Mediterranean winds, and lantern light flickering along the stone streets of ancient Rome. But before we journey there, we begin here with you, resting comfortably. Allow your body to settle exactly where it is. There's nowhere to go, nothing to achieve, nothing to think about. Just listen and breathe very slowly and very softly. Bring your attention first to the top of your head, the scalp. Imagine a gentle warmth there, like the last rays of sunset touching ancient marble columns. Feel the muscles of your scalp softening, relaxing, unwinding. Now allow that same calm sensation to move downward to your forehead. Let the skin of your forehead smooth out, as if a warm breeze is passing across it. Your eyebrows rest easily now. Your eyes grow heavier. Let your eyelids soften. The tiny muscles around your eyes release their effort. Your eyes sink comfortably into their resting place, as though they are floating in warm evening air. Now relax the muscles of your face. Your cheeks soften, your temples loosen, and your jaw, let the jaw gently part. No clenching, no tension, just stillness. Feel the calm moving down into your throat. The muscles, they're unwinding slowly, as if warm water is flowing through them. Your neck feels supported, balanced, quiet. Now bring your attention to your lungs, your breath, without forcing anything. Simply notice the gentle rhythm of breathing, and together we will take 3 slow breaths. Breathe in slowly through the nose, filling the lungs comfortably, and release the breath gently. Again, breathe in slow and deep, the air cool and calm, and breathe out, letting the shoulders drop just a little further. One last breath, in slowly and out, allowing your entire chest to soften. Now, let that feeling drift down into your stomach, your abdomen. Feel the muscles, they're loosened, like soft sand settling along a quiet Roman shoreline. Your belly rises gently with each breath and falls again effortlessly. Now the calm moves lower into your hips, your thighs, your knees. Let your legs feel heavy, supported by the surface beneath you. Your calves soften, your ankles relax. Even the tiny muscles in your feet release their tension. Toes resting quietly, still, comfortable. Your entire body is now calm, from scalp to eyes, to lungs to stomach, to the very tips of your toes. Each breath drifting slower and slower. Now with the body relaxed, we begin our gentle journey across time, across centuries, into the quiet evening of ancient Rome. Imagine a warm Mediterranean night, the air scented with olive oil, cypress trees, and distant sea salt carried by the wind. Stone roads glow faintly beneath the light of oil lanterns. Marble columns stand tall, casting long shadows across the quiet courtyards. Somewhere in the distance, water trickles softly through a fountain. You are walking slowly along a peaceful path near the outskirts of Rome. The year is long ago, nearly 2,000 years in the past. The empire is vast, but tonight the world feels small, calm, and still. Above you the sky stretches wide and deep. Roman travelers once used these same stars to guide their journeys across land and sea. And tonight, those ancient stars glow gently above your path. Not far ahead, a quiet villa rests among olive trees, its stone walls warmed by the day sun, its windows glowing with soft lamplight. This villa belongs to an old Roman philosopher, a man known throughout the region not for power, but for wisdom. His name is Lucius Aelius Varro. Many travelers visit him seeking answers, but Varro rarely gives direct advice. Instead, he tells stories, slow stories, stories about patience, about time, about the quiet strength that grows when we learn to wait. Tonight, you approach the villa as a peaceful guest. The gravel beneath your sandals crunches softly. A breeze moves through the olive branches, carrying their earthy scent through the courtyard. Varro sits beside a small fountain carved from pale marble. The water flows gently, endlessly, just as it has for years. He watches the fountain quietly, as though time itself were flowing through it. When he notices you approaching, he smiles kindly. His voice is calm, steady, ancient with experience. "Welcome, traveler," he says softly. "You have come at the perfect hour, the hour when Rome becomes quiet, and wisdom can finally be heard." You sit nearby, beneath the silver leaves of the olive trees. The stone bench is cool, smooth from years of use. Somewhere in the distance, an owl calls softly into the night. The philosopher looks toward the flowing fountain, and then he speaks again. "Tonight, I will tell you a story about patience, the most silent, yet most powerful virtue in the world." The water continues its gentle flow. The stars above Rome grow brighter, and the ancient lesson is about to begin. The fountain continued to murmur softly in the courtyard, its gentle rhythm blending with the quiet breathing of the olive trees. Lucius Aelius Varro sat peacefully beside the marble basin, watching the water as though it were telling him a story only time could understand. You sit nearby, listening, feeling the calm of the ancient Roman night settling deeper around you. The philosopher lifts a small clay cup filled with warm herbal tea. Steam rises slowly into the cool air. The scent of chamomile and wild thyme drifts through the courtyard. He takes a small sip and then begins a story. "Many years ago," Varro says softly, "when I was much younger than I am now, I traveled far beyond the walls of Rome." His eyes reflect the lantern light as he remembers. "I traveled north across the stone roads that wind through the hills of Latium, until I reached a small farming village near the river Tiber. The night air grows cooler. The stars shine more brightly above the olive grove. You can almost see the journey he describes unfolding slowly in your mind. Dusty Roman roads stretching across gentle hills, tall cypress trees standing like silent guardians along the path, and the distant glow of small villages resting under the same ancient sky." Varro continues, "In that village lived an old farmer named Marcus Silvanus. Marcus was known throughout the region for something unusual. Not wealth, not strength, not clever speech, but patience. The fountain water flows, steady, endless, unhurried, just like the virtue Varro describes. Marcus owned a vineyard," Varro says, "a quiet hillside vineyard overlooking the slow curve of the Tiber River. The vines were older than many of the villagers themselves. They twisted through the soil like living sculptures, their roots deep within the earth." Varro pauses, listening to the breeze passing through the olive leaves. "One afternoon, when I was young and impatient, I visited Marcus. I remember asking him a question that many young men ask: how can I become wise quickly?" Varro smiles faintly. As soon as the words left my mouth, Marcus laughed gently, not to mock me, but because he had heard the question many times before. You imagine the scene: a golden afternoon in the Roman countryside, rows of vineyards glowing beneath the warm Mediterranean sun, and an old farmer standing calmly beside them. Marcus said nothing at first. He simply handed me a small wooden shovel and asked me to help him plant a new vine. The philosopher's voice grows softer, slower, like footsteps across quiet soil. The earth was warm and dark, he says. We dug a small hole carefully, gently, as though the soil itself deserved patience. Then Marcus placed the young vine into the ground. It was small, fragile, barely more than a thin green stem. Varro's voice pauses for a moment. I asked him when the vine would produce grapes. Marcus brushed the soil over its roots and answered calmly, 3 years. 3 years. The words float quietly through the courtyard. I remember feeling surprised, Varro continues. 3 years felt like an eternity to me. So I asked another question. Why wait so long? The lantern flame flickers gently beside the fountain. Marcus looked toward the vineyard hills and said something I have never forgotten. He said, because the vine must first learn patience from the earth. You feel the weight of those ancient words settling slowly in your mind. The roots grow first, Marcus explained, deep below the soil, unseen by anyone. For many seasons, nothing appears above the ground. But beneath the surface, the vine is learning strength. The fountain continues to whisper, water touching stone, stone touching water. Marcus told me that wisdom grows the same way, quietly, slowly, hidden beneath time. The night deepens around the Roman villa, somewhere beyond the olive grove. A breeze moves softly through distant fields. Varro looks toward the stars above Rome. These same stars watched Marcus plant his vineyards. They watched emperors rise and fall. They watched travelers cross oceans and deserts. And yet the stars themselves remain patient. He gestures gently toward the flowing fountain. Water does not hurry. Yet over time, it shapes the strongest stone. You sit peacefully beside the ancient philosopher, listening to the quiet sounds of the courtyard, the soft wind, the gentle fountain, the distant whisper of Roman night. Varro's voice becomes even softer now, almost like a whisper carried by time itself. Years later, I returned to Marcus's vineyard. The small vine we planted had grown. It stretched across wooden posts, strong, steady, full of green leaves. And that autumn, it finally produced its first grapes. You imagine the vineyard glowing beneath the warm Roman sun, clusters of dark purple grapes hanging from patient vines, the scent of earth fruit and distant river water filling the air. Marcus picked a single grape and handed it to me, Varro says. He told me to taste it slowly. I remember the flavor even now. It was sweet, rich, full of sunlight and time. Varro smiled softly, and Marcus said, patience turns seasons into sweetness. The ancient courtyard grows quieter, the lantern flames steady and warm. You feel the calm wisdom of the Roman night settling deeper around you, like the slow roots of the vineyard reaching quietly into the earth. The philosopher rests his hands beside the fountain. The water continues its peaceful journey, unhurried, endless, wise. And the lesson of patience continues to unfold beneath the ancient Roman stars. The fountain continues its quiet song, water slipping over smooth marble endlessly, patiently. Lucius Aelius Varro sits beside him, his eyes reflecting the gentle lantern light. For a while, neither of you speak. The olive trees whisper softly in the warm Roman night. At last, Varro lifts his gaze toward the sky. The stars above Rome shine with a steady calm, as they have for thousands of years. Marcus Silvanus lived many seasons after that day. Varro says quietly, and every year his vineyard grew strong. Storms came, summers grew hot, winters grew cold. but the vines remained patient. The philosopher traces a finger along the rim of the marble fountain. Years later, Marcus became an old man, older even than I am now. And one evening, as the sun was setting across the hills, he invited me to walk through his vineyard one last time. You imagine the quiet countryside, golden light touching the long rows of vines, the slow river Tiber moving peacefully through the valley, the air carrying the scent of soil, leaves, and ripening fruit. Marcus walks slowly. Varro continues, his steps careful, unhurried. But his eyes were bright with the calm of a man who had lived well. The philosopher's voice becomes softer, slower. As we reached the highest hill, we looked out over the vineyard. Hundreds of vines stretched across the hillside, their branches heavy with grapes. Each vine had begun as a fragile stem, planted patiently into the earth. Varro pauses, listening to the water and the wind. Marcus turned to me and said something I have remembered all my life. He said, "Most people want the fruit, but they do not respect the seasons." The words drift gently through the quiet courtyard. He told me that patience is not waiting with frustration. It is waiting with trust. Trust that time is working quietly, even when we cannot see it. The philosopher smiles faintly. Marcus said that the earth itself teaches patience. Seeds sleep beneath the soil, sometimes for months. Rivers travel thousands of miles before reaching the sea. And even the stars move slowly across the sky, guided by time. The night deepens around the villa. The lantern flame glows warmly beside the fountain. Varro continues softly. Before we left the vineyard that evening, Marcus handed me a small wooden cup. It was filled with wine made from the very vine we planted together years before. You imagine the quiet hillside, the sky painted in warm shades of sunset, the vineyard glowing softly beneath the fading light. Marcus told me to drink slowly, to taste not only the wine but the years within it. Varro's voice becomes almost a whisper. The flavor carried sunlight, rainfall, the warmth of summers, the silence of winters. It carried patience. The philosopher looks toward the flowing water again, and that is when I finally understood. Wisdom does not arrive suddenly. It grows quietly like roots beneath the soil. The breeze through the olive trees grows softer now, the Roman night becoming deeper, calmer. Varro turns toward you with gentle eyes. Tonight, you have heard the story of Marcus, the story of a man who trusted time. He gestures once more to the fountain. The water continues its endless movement, never rushing, never stopping. Patience, he says softly, is the calm strength that allows life to unfold. Silence settles gently in the courtyard. The stars above ancient Rome glow steadily. The lantern light flickers softly beside the fountain. The breeze moves slowly through the olive branches. Somewhere far away, the quiet river Tiber flows through the sleeping countryside. The vineyard hills rest beneath the stars. The ancient stone villa grows still. The fountain continues its patient rhythm. Water touching marble, marble touching water. The olive leaves rustle gently in the night wind. Your breath becomes slow and peaceful. The Roman sky stretches endlessly above. Time moves softly, like distant waves. Everything grows quiet. And the ancient night of Rome holds you gently in calm and silence